When you start a new Minecraft world, it can be incredibly time-consuming collecting necessary resources. If you want to cut down on those times and automate it all, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you not one, not two, but 3 essential farms to help cut down on the time needed to collect these essentials in your brand new Minecraft world. Also quickly, if this video does help you out, please do consider subscribing, as it really shows me that you guys are enjoying my content and it helps inspire me to make more. And if you really enjoy this video, don't forget to join the Discord server down in the description. Anyway, let's get on to building these beautiful new farms. Unfortunately, I've ditched the shaders because the Optifine pre-release is a little buggy, but for the infinite fuel farm, everything that you need to build it is in my inventory right now. You, of course, can expand the storage system, but I'm just going to be using 1 hopper and 1 chest for this. You can use as many as you want. One thing else to note is this farm is built in modules. Each little row is a module, and you can expand it out as wide as you want or as tall as you want if you want to layer it. Just keep that in mind, but let's get started now. So we're going to build our collection system here. Just a simple hopper and chest, and then build over with a layer of glass. You then want to go behind the hopper and build some sand, as well as some walls on the side going about 4 blocks tall. This is the main little bit of the farm, and I'm actually going to break the block in front of the chest just so we can access the insides of that. But then what you want to do is build up 2 building blocks behind the sand. That is because we're going to be placing the bamboo on top of the sand, and then the pistons are going to be here. And basically, when the bamboo grows like that, an observer on top is going to detect it and then push the pistons out, pushing them into this water stream that pushes the drops into the chest like so. If you're building this underground or in a dark area, I'd recommend using glowstone or something as the block underneath here. That's always a good idea. You don't have to, of course, but it's always an idea to do that. But then what you want to do is come behind the pistons and build a block there. And then once you've built the blocks behind the pistons, come up and build a row of observers looking into some redstone on top of the blocks. And that's it. As you can see, when the bamboo grows, that will break the bamboo, push it into the glass. If I build this up a little bit more here, it'll push the bamboo, breaking it. Sometimes it does get caught on the sand, which is unfortunate, but this farm, especially with bamboo that grows so quickly, is super fast. If you do want to layer this farm, make sure not to use sand and use grass instead. As you can see, the grass doesn't fall, but the sand will fall if you use it here. That's always one thing to keep in mind. And of course, you don't have to put any more water in here, because any other bamboo that's down at the bottom will just get pushed off as well and fall into the water down there. You can use this with sugarcane as well, but make sure that you do need water there, because of course it's sugarcane and sugarcane needs water. This farm is super efficient and is a must-have for any Minecraft world. Of course, you get limitless fuel. I mean, it's a no-brainer really. It's so easy, as you guys just saw. Plus, it's a very helpful fuel for what we're going to be building next. So as you guys may have been able to see, we're going to be building an auto smelter now. So everything that you need to build the auto smelter is in my inventory right now. Of course, you can expand the collection system as much as you want. You can have as many chests and as many hoppers as you want, and then make sure to be using minecart with hoppers rather than normal minecarts, so your items can actually be collected into them. So as per usual, we're going to start with the collection system. We're not going to build it on the edge block because we need an extra block for something I'll show you guys in a little while. And then from behind the chest, we want to build our normal collection system thing, a hopper. But the way that this farm works is, as long as the farm is, you can build this thing on for 100 blocks if you wanted, and the auto smelter will still work. You want to build furnaces with hoppers collecting them underneath. The reason that you can build this on forever is because it's minecart powered with rails. The longer this thing is, the more spread out what you want to cook in the furnaces will be, therefore cooking it even faster. And the way that you supply these furnaces is with hoppers behind and on top of the furnaces. Now this of course is going to use a lot of iron. If you want to find out how to make an iron farm, make sure to check out the link in the iCards, where I walk you through how to build a super efficient farm in Minecraft. You get over 300 iron ingots an hour. Looking at this farm, we want to say that the input is here. So what I'm going to do is build out an extra block from the hoppers and then up and to the side of them. And I'll show you guys why in a moment. That's why we needed the extra block of space. And then at the end, all you need to do is build up and across instead of an extra block. To get the rails in, what you want to do is you want to do this one layer at a time, and that's because if you do them together, as you can see, it just does this and it doesn't really work. So what you have to do is you do the first layer and then you get onto the upper layer and then you start one block in and bring that all the way to the end rather than starting from the end itself. You then want to build up a hopper and extra chest for the input, chests for fuel and for whatever you want to smelt. And then you can come down here and place a couple of buttons. Basically, these buttons will activate the different rail lines, but to keep them permanently powered, you want to use a redstone block. If you place it on top of the rail down at the bottom, it'll power both sets of rails. But if you place your minecart now, as you can see, it just starts going, and you might be saying, Sam, this isn't very super. And I'll say, yes, it's not very super at all. And the way you get around this is by coming to the input, looking one block in, and then breaking that block and placing a normal rail there. You can see that now when I press the button, the minecart goes out once and then it comes back. You want to do this for both layers, and that means if you input some fuel, you can then send the fuel off. That'll supply it to all the furnaces and then it will come back. If you have quite a lot, you might want to press it twice, but that's something that's, you know, super simple and easy to get around. And that is basically your super smelter. As you can tell, guys, it is so easy to do. Let's give it a little test run. So we got some bamboo from our bamboo farm behind us, and we're going to put that into our hopper minecart. As you can see, this is why we need the extra block here, because otherwise it'll just go straight through this hopper down here and into that first furnace, which some of you may like, but I'd say is a little bit of a flaw, as you want to spread it out across all of the furnaces rather than just this first one. We're then going to also put our raw iron in the chest, let that all funnel into the minecart with hopper, and then we're going to test this thing out. Great, and now that all of our raw iron and all of our bamboo is in there, we then want to hit the bottom button. That will spread all the bamboo out across the different furnaces. As you can see, it's got 2 at the moment. You may want to give it a couple more clicks to let the rest of it funnel through. And then to funnel in what we want to smelt, you press the top button, and as you can see, all the furnaces line up, and then these things will slowly start cooking away. And then, as you can see, all of our iron is coming in very quickly. Like I said, the more furnaces you have, the faster this will work, and then they all turn off again. This is a really great farm. Paired with the bamboo farm, it works amazingly, and you can get some real fast speeds from this thing. That is the super smelter, and for the final thing, we are going to be building a villager food farm. May sound confusing, but surprisingly simple. So for our villager food farm, everything that you need is in my inventory right now. Of course, the glass is something that you can swap out. You don't have to use smooth stone for the building blocks, but everything else is pretty standard. So what we want is we want to find the central point of an area that is at least 9 by 9 wide. So I'm going to mark the center out with this block of redstone, and then I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on either side, and then using another building block, I'm then going to come out another 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we have this sort of cross, and then what I'd recommend doing is filling the rest in with smooth stone, apart from one little corner like this. But let's fill in the rest. Once that is all filled in, we then want to place a double chest like this, and then the reason we left out this corner is because we want to place 2 hoppers going into that double chest there. Then what you want to do is you want to come to this back corner here, and that is because this is going to be the starting block of our railway. You then want to build the railway along sort of in this zigzag pattern. As you can see, sometimes this will mess up, so you might want to build that corner first. As you guys can see, I'll redo that for you there. So I place that block there, and that kind of messed it up. So break this block, place that one down, and then build it around, and then you can place that block back in. As you can see, we built with the redstone blocks on the floor, and we did that so all of our powered rails would get powered when we place them down. I find this is the best way to do it. Of course, you can always use redstone torches underneath the ground if you want to do that as well, but I prefer this way as it keeps it all solid blocks. Then come to the end and place down another block. If we grab our minecart hoppers, as you can see, it does this zigzag back and forth in this 9x9 area, and then once it hits the end, you'll see that it comes back and does it all again. We can break this block we can break that for now, as we don't need it just yet, but it is important to place it in a little bit later. Now that we've done that, we want to find the center block again and then place a slab on the bottom half of the block. You can do that by just placing it on top of the rail, and then what we want to do is build our 9x9 platform again around this slab. Now, if you haven't figured that out already, what we're going to be doing is this layer here is where the villagers are going to be sitting on, and they are going to be farming up crops for us. And then if the villager's inventory is full, which is what we're going to do ourselves, or it's just going to happen naturally as the villagers harvest more and more food. But as the villager's inventory gets full up, they'll drop carrots or whatever you want to farm on the ground, and then they will be collected by the hopper minecart down here and put into this chest. What you then want to do is waterlog that slab and place a composter on top. This is going to turn the villager in this area into a farmer, which then allows them to harvest the crops that you have up here. Once you've done that, what I'd recommend doing is building a little perimeter around the edge, which you can then use to hold the villager inside. I, of course, like to watch my enemies suffer, so I am going to be using glass to do this. Don't forget to also light up the area. So one thing that I'd recommend doing is grabbing yourself some trusty glowstone and placing the glowstone on top of the composter. It also stops the villager from getting stuck inside of the composter, which has been a known issue with farms similar to this. Plus, it also lights up your crops, so none of your crops are going to be dying. So it's just a bit of a no-brainer. Once you have made the perimeter, you can then hoe the whole ground and then plant whatever crops you would like. Now, I'd always recommend using carrot just because it's one of those crops which it doesn't give you seeds. There's no poisonous carrots like with potatoes, which, you know, there are poisonous potatoes, and you can craft golden carrots out of them. It's just the easiest crop to use, so that's why I'd recommend using it. Once you've got your villager in here, as you can see, it will then become a farmer. Oh no, I made it give birth! Time to commit a felony. Get out of here. I'm going to end up on an episode of Castle. But once you have murdered the villager's child, what you then want to do is fill it with whatever you want it to be placing. Now, if you want to be farming wheat with this farm, fill up the villager's inventory with seeds. If you fill its inventory up with seeds, then when it plants more seeds, it will only then pick up seeds. It's just the best way to do it. If you're going to be farming with wheat, if you're going to be farming with potatoes, just give it potatoes. If you're going to be farming with carrots, just give it carrots. And you want to be giving this guy 9 stacks, as a villager has an inventory size of 9 stacks. So make sure to keep that in mind when doing this, because then whenever the crops grow, the villagers will break them and replant with what you want, aka carrots. For educational purposes, I'm now bone mealing everything to show you what the villager will be doing and how this works. If you do murder the villager's child, it may not comply, but we're going to try and force it into this. And then when this guy finally feels it, he may not be doing it because, of course, I spawned all of this in, but then when this guy is used to their surroundings, they'll then start farming up all of the crops. You can actually see that they might have done it over here. But then once this guy gets used to their surroundings, they'll then start farming all the crops. Any crops that are left broken on the floor will get collected by the hopper minecart that don't forget to place in. As you can see, we have some carrots down there. And then once the hopper minecart comes and picks them all up, as you can see, they're now gone. Once the hopper minecart picks them all up, they'll then drive all the way around here, and then as it slowly goes around and around, they'll then deposit them into the large chest. And there you go, guys. Those are your first 3 essential farms for your new Minecraft world. I really hope that this video has helped you out, and I hope that it enables you to do some really cool things in your Minecraft worlds. If you do build any of these farms in your Minecraft survival world, make sure to join my Discord server and send a picture of them. I'd love to see what you guys have done with the farms. You can find a link to my Discord server down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you did enjoy the video, please do make sure to subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel out. And don't forget to drop a like as well to show me that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!